Hi guys, and welcome to yet another episode of Project Perfumery India after a long time because our studio wasn't making and the lockdown did delay the thing, but then we are up and running. So let's get started and let me show you how the studio looks. So as we start, the whole studio you see is actually in three different categories or three different sections. To start with here, if you have a look, that is my studio section. This is actually the blending area where we make perfumes, and there comes this side is the souk. So I'll take you to all the spaces one by one. Getting started with, let me show you the blending area. That's my favorite. So as you see, these are actually the work desk or where the guys work or where I also do my blending. So these are our bottles where we create our blends. So this is more like the work desk. So this is desk number 1. Here we have on the back side the desk number 2. This is our console, or we call it labeling console or the shoot console. Here all the labeling on the bottles. For example, if you have a look at it, we recently did the labeling of Cannot Perfumery. This is my upcoming blends coming. We call it the console or the labeling console. Yes, and yep, here we can do the shoot and everything. This is called the wall here. So right now it's pretty much randomly arranged, but we plan to do it more like brand specific or keep some bottles here which are quite unique. Now, if you see all over the place, these are called the wall of fame. If you look it up, here we have done the framing part, where we have different sort of bottles. The same thing is over here on the other side. So we have shelves, I'm trying to put off some rare bottles or something like that. Right now I've pretty much randomly kept it. Moving on, so as we are coming from this side, here you see these are the two sections which are called the welcome area, where there could be a reception sort of thing. If you go this side, this is my studio. So studio is where the more presentation thing or rest of the things happen. More like assembling thing, like making samples, bottling, everything happens here. There we create the first formulation, test it out. So if you see these bottles, so these are all my sample exchange bottle out here. So if you go on perfumery.co.in, there's a samples category. So we have created more like a library. I just showed you my the blending area, the console, the labeling console. This I'll be making a lot of video in coming days. So get familiar to this area, you'll be seeing a lot. Now this is another area, but let me show you why we have kept so many bottles. So this is part of a sample exchange program. So that's my samples category on perfumery.co.in. And it's like the idea is to create a library sort of thing. So if you look at every bottle, they have a, say this is a rare Tom Ford Extreme bottle. So it has a tag on it where we could identify it. It's similar to how there's a book number. Same, we have given a sample exchange number. So every bottle is documented along with batch information, and we sample them. So it's like getting thousands of bottles accessible to all the people around. So the entire section, you will see a different batches. This is like vintage Musk Revacheur. Same way you would find Vita 1. So call it niche, or there are a lot of cheapies as well up here. Like this is one of 2015 DHI. Nowadays you could only find a sample of it, and it's really tough to get a bottle of old batches. So there are some rare bottles too. So this is more like that. So a similar structure is inside as well. All the top shelf, basically the top area below the roof, that is something we really do not utilize at our homes, stores, etc. So this is how we are utilizing that part here. And that's my souk area, which is more like the discounted stuff. This is more what we put on our website as the express category. That's all out here. So I really don't have much thing to show there because we are cutting down on a lot of inventory things because we are ramping up on our own inventory. So here you will see these bottles. So these are again sample exchange. Like how I showed you the vintage bottles, the niche bottles. Here these are the Middle Eastern cheapies. So here we make like the bulk samples of it. We put like, because every day we finish like 30-40 bottles average from this section only. So from Arma to Paris Corner, Utkalakas, I see all the bottles here. There's one more extension. This is the designer section out here for sample exchange. Here you would see Isimiyakes, you would see some Ministry of Oud, you would see Sauvage bottle here, Oud water bottle here, Armani Code, Oud Malaki. So basically this is all designer stuff. So basically we have done it like numbered wise so that it's easier to process sample exchange. But otherwise, imagine processing say 500 samples in one day becomes really hectic job. So what we do, we have given the sequence to it. Right, coming here, this is my own section. I will call studio. Why? Because this I plan to do my own creation section. This is the depot or the oil library. So right now I'm running low. These are all naturals right now because I am exploring naturals more. Inside we have synthetic ones as well, but I think I'll skip that for now. These are my creations, as you all must be familiar about. Let me still guide you through. So this is my latest one coming, Mush Oud from Kannauj, handcrafted in Kannauj. From there, let's come to this was my first creation in full presentation. That's called Alexa. It's coming straight out from my refrigerator. That's why it has some dewdrops. This is the then was Rouge 666, which I am running out of right now. Let me get up only. Alright, then we have is instant vintage. So let me show you what just dropped by. This is 30 ml of instant vintage and it looks dope. I was just testing both of them side by side and they smelled amazing. I mean, there is no much. This, of course, with time this will get even better because this is 25% concentrate and this one is 33. Then we have Tantra Oud. They come down again. Right, so these two a must check. I'll be doing an individual video unboxing as well. Then comes my Jivara, which is Dior Sauvage in nuke mode. This is Tatwa, again one of the most strongest fragrance I have created. Then is my new line of One OZ. This is Prodigified Gold. I think this is getting featured first time on camera and it looks absolutely stunning. This is inspired by Blue de Chanel Parfum and this is, I would say, anything that I've got that close to BDC DNA. Then comes the small Alexa 1.0 inspired by Creed Aventus, 33%, my top seller. And this is my Bitcoin, which was actually a customized order for someone who owns a crypto exchange for his top earners. He wanted to do something unique, memorable, so we made this, which comes with a unique serial number. It's more like an NFT, non-tangible, basically. So I'll making another video which will have it in detail. I wanted to explain the whole concept, how it works like, but it's more like it's something that you're buying digitally and this is coming as a souvenir to you. So you're paying me or the company or the exchange for getting ownership of these, say, 200 bottles made, and this is just a souvenir going to them. But this itself is a really nice fragrance. I absolutely love it. I have about 24 to 48 bottles available for India, which I got it as my own, for my own studio. Then comes pretty much of my creation, the main line. Then let me show you. This is more like the processing area. So this was rented out to one of the guy who was my IT guy basically. He used to do my laptops. But lockdown has actually the second lockdown. The first one broke down a little bit, I think to an extent. Some people really could not take the second lockdown. So most of it is like every building you would see, you know, at least 10 to 20% shops getting vacated. So same thing happened here. I kind of subleased this section to someone for like 1/4 rent sharing, and this guy went out after second lockdown. So we are utilizing this as extension of our studio. So these are my alternatives on sale, which we are getting rid of. We won't be making these again. We're going on the format I just showed you. It looks amazing and it looks like a finished product. Then these are some, here we do all packaging, making samples, etc, etc. So nothing much to show out here. Let's go back to studio. The blending area. So let's go back from studio to the blending area. Here I'll be revealing what we'll be doing next. It's something which I have been working on from a long time. It's something like to create more interactive session, more like a reality series where things are, it's more like an internship. So there's a guy who's an intern, I'll be introducing him, and we have planned some activities around you which will require you guys also to give us a close feedback. So stay tuned for that. It's Mohit, check it out, see ya.